Insert hook so that you'll let me talk to you about Leviticus. Listen, this book is amazing. It's the center of the entire Torah. The Torah has an A-B-C-B-A pattern, meaning as a literary story, it is symmetrical. If we were to fold it in half, you would see that Genesis and Deuteronomy have parallels. You would see that Exodus and Numbers have parallels. And you would see as it folds, it comes to a center point right in the middle of Leviticus. For example, Genesis opens with the loss of paradise, and Deuteronomy closes with them getting ready to move back into the promised land. Exodus and Numbers both detail wilderness wanderings and grumblings over thirst and food. And Exodus and Numbers end and begin right at the tabernacle at Sinai, because the entire Torah is an ascent up to the mountain of God and a descent into the promised land. But what's so important about Leviticus is what happens at the mountain of God. You notice at the end of Exodus, not only does God's presence come to dwell within this tabernacle, Moses himself is barred entry. So while Exodus is trying to answer the problem of Genesis, that we've been kicked out of paradise, we see mankind receive a new tabernacle, but they still don't have entry. Leviticus then begins to detail how we get back to God, namely through these sacrifices and a priesthood. And then in Leviticus 10, at the house of God, the next generation of priests, Nadab and Abihu, desecrate this new temple by offering fire God did not command and die. That is, just like in the Garden of Eden, this new tabernacle has already been desecrated by rebellion. But as the drama of Leviticus unfolds, it gets to the height of God's provision, namely the Day of Atonement, where God himself is going to make a way for man by taking away the sins of his people and thus opening a way once again for Israel and thus the nations to come back to God. And within the unfolding narrative of the Torah, the point is Israel has this incredible privilege. They have not only the house of God, but the way into it, and thus they're to steward it as they go into the promised land, being a light to the nations, that the nations might return to their Creator.